Welcome back to Yang Daily. I'll be your host, Alex Cheney, bringing you all the Yang news you need to live your life right. We've got a really cool news item today and a pretty terrible one, along with a lot of neutral stuff, fair and balanced. Let's get to it. A shooting near the White House interrupted one of Trump's briefings today. Little is known at the time. Secret Service say the man opened fire and was shot by Secret Service officer in return. He was taken to a hospital. That's pretty much the extent of the story so far. A rash of looting and protesting broke out in Chicago after police shot a young black man who allegedly fired on them. In the ensuing chaos, over 100 arrests were made, dozens of downtown stores were broken into and looted, and 13 officers claimed to be injured. A security guard and a civilian were struck by gunfire during the early morning hours and taken into hospitals. 5 guns were recovered during the unrest, according to David Brown, superintendent of police, bringing the total of weekend guns recovered by police to 149. Brown said that in the upswell of violence Chicago has seen this year, there were 31 shootings over the weekend, including 3 murders, with 9 officers shot in the last 7 days. Chicago police are imposing a curfew in downtown from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Mayor Lightfoot took a very hardline rhetoric, saying, quote, "To those engaged in criminal behavior, let's be clear, we are coming for you. I don't care what justification is given, there is no justification for criminal behavior," end quote. I certainly don't think that kind of criminality can be allowed. The gun violence in particular is completely out of control. I also doubt that it's going to decline to normal levels until underlying issues are addressed. Biden released his pandemic recovery plan. I'm not going to detail this one. It's basically what you'd expect. Ramp up testing and PPE, manufacture our own drugs and equipment to be self-reliant, a pay boost and free quarantine housing for healthcare workers, emergency paid leave for anyone sick or caring for a sick family member, better organization and information, rejoin the WHO, treatment price controls, mandating worker protection standards for employers, create a system for businesses to show they have followed approved government guidelines to protect customers, financial support for small businesses, funding for schools and childcare, a zip code-based pandemic threat dashboard to keep citizens informed, subsidized healthcare access, and a $200 boost to Social Security and 15% boost to SNAP. Definitely better than Trump's plan to spread the plague as fast as possible, but no UBI, unfortunately. Scott pointed out an incredible legal service called Do Not Pay. It is a website and an artificial intelligence that contains detailed information on how to handle situations and even automates many processes for you on topics ranging from acquiring bill extensions to canceling unused subscriptions or scheduling a cancellation of a free trial, suing anyone in small claims court, creating schedules for DMV appointments, getting compensation for all your delayed and canceled flights, disputing your traffic tickets, reaching customer support as fast as possible, fighting speeding tickets, dealing with credit card issues and fees, appealing unfair parking tickets, paying or negotiating huge bills, etc. The AI will draw up legal documents for you with a few simple info inputs. It will sit on hold for you with customer service to get refunds. And this is my favorite, it can help you make money off of robocall scams. Scammers that call you to try and get your credit card information are obviously breaking the law. Do Not Pay will help you create a fake credit card that you can give to the scammers, and it will trace them when they try to access the fake account, getting the information needed to sue them and drawing up the documents for you, which can result in a nice windfall of $500 to $3,000 depending on whether they settle or lose in court and whether you were on the do not call list. Now that is good service. But the main reason I bring it up is because they've recently automated the process of applying for unemployment insurance, expunging arrest records for protesters, fighting evictions, and other pandemic-related issues. If you have any of those problems, or even if you don't, I highly suggest checking out donotpay.com. AI is coming for those white-collar jobs, and I'm loving it. Ilhan Omar's election in Minnesota's 5th District is tomorrow. Recall that she has written and supported UBI bills in the House. She is one of the few incumbents who would be good to retain. If you live there and haven't voted yet, the deadline is tomorrow. Senator Durbin has introduced a carbon tax bill last Friday that would, according to Shannon Osaka, mandate a tax of $25 per metric ton of emissions, equivalent to roughly 22 cents per gallon of gasoline, and rise by $10 or more per year. A majority of the funds raised by the tax would be returned to low and middle income households in the form of rebates. The rest would be used to create a green bank for investments in clean energy, to finance carbon sequestration projects in farms and forests, and to provide support for laid-off fossil fuel workers and communities at risk of sea level rise or extreme weather. Sounds like the rebates are means-tested. Makes more sense to me to simply give all the tax collected back to the people as a UBI. That way, if you use less pollutants, you save money, and you also get money. Nothing wasted on bureaucracy, and the vast majority goes to the middle and lower class. That sounds like a popular policy to me. Still, this is mostly that, so it's pretty darn good. The 4-Day Week campaign in the UK has been putting in great work to popularize the idea of cutting down work hours without losing productivity or pay. They coordinated a letter to the Chancellor urging the government to explore introducing a 4-day week, which gained coverage in The Guardian, Daily Mail, Lad Bible, and Vogue magazine. They worked alongside MPs to table an early day motion in Parliament, which has been signed by 42 cross-party MPs, secured a meeting with Treasury Minister Kimi Badenoch, and released new polling showing that 2/3 of the public, including 57% of conservative voters, want the government to explore introducing a 4-day week. They've spoken to a number of businesses asking for practical advice about how to move toward shorter hours. Those businesses went on to make the changes successfully for themselves. Less time at work means more time to be informed, advocate, volunteer, be a good friend or family member, innovate, create, and enjoy life. These should be our goals. The campaign is now asking for donations to expand their advocacy. If you can afford it and appreciate their work to humanize the world, it's a surely noble cause. Ted Cruz proved his stupidity yet again today when he tweeted this in response to Ed Markey calling for emergency UBI, quote, "Why be so cheap? Give everyone $1 million a day, every day, forever, and 3 soy lattes a day, and a foot massage. We have a magic money tree, we should use it." End quote. Yes, Ted, you're right. We do have a magic money tree, and we should indeed use it to save the economy and the people. And maybe if our leaders weren't operating on your level of intellect, we could do so. It just boggles my mind that this is the way the people controlling our government operate. Ted could and should have researched UBI, seen all the evidence that it would grow the economy and save on social ills enough to pay for itself. But no, instead he responds like a child with derision born of ignorance and pettiness. People like Ted are why the country is being driven into the ground. Put on your big boy pants and do your freaking job, Ted. Amazon is in talks to buy space in empty mall stores to use as local distribution hubs. Building literally on the corpse of those you drove out of business is a bit on the nose, but I guess business is business. Not sure this is what Yang had in mind with his policy to repurpose malls, though. Finally, Adam Christensen, whose election is 9 days away, is holding daily phone banking power hours that you can sign up for below. Donna Imam is also pushing phone banking. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Check out donotpay.com. Consider donating to the 4-Day Week campaign. Tell Ted Cruz what you think of his performance. Help Adam and Donna make their final push. Help recruit other organizations to the cause and get everyone to sign the UBI petitions. Flood Congress and Trump with calls, tweets, and letters using the ResistBot or Income Movement easy contacts below. If you need financial help, consult Humanity Forward, the Income Movement Aid Database, United Way, or the H3 podcast thread. And don't forget to Yang Daily.